Cuba's dazzling culture, breathtaking landscapes, and lively cities make it a must-visit paradise for travelers everywhere. Picture yourself strolling through the vibrant streets of Havana or relaxing on the sun-kissed beaches of Veradero. While the island is full of charm, it's also packed with unique challenges. To make sure your Cuban adventure is as smooth and enjoyable as possible, let's uncover the common pitfalls and how to avoid them. Ready to dive in? Let's get started. Number 10. Dealing with political sensitivities. Cuba has a complex political landscape, and travelers should be mindful of local attitudes towards politics and government. Discussing political issues or expressing opinions about the government can lead to uncomfortable situations or misunderstandings. Solution: avoid engaging in political discussions or making critical comments about the Cuban government. Focus on enjoying the cultural and historical aspects of your visit and respect the local perspective. If you have questions about the country's history or culture, seek information from reputable sources or local guides. Number 9. Coping with limited tourist information. In Cuba, the availability of tourist information can be limited, especially outside major cities. Guidebooks and online resources may be outdated or incomplete. Lack of reliable and up-to-date information can make it challenging to plan your itinerary and activities effectively. Solution: before your trip, gather as much information as possible from current travel guides, forums, and recent traveler reviews. Contacting local tourism offices or your accommodation for advice and recommendations can also be helpful. Additionally, consider joining guided tours for certain areas to ensure you have reliable information and access to local expertise. Before we dive deeper into the common pitfalls of exploring Cuba, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more travel tips and updates. Now let's get back to it. Number 8. Understanding the local economy and prices. Cuba's unique economic situation affects prices and availability of goods and services. The local economy operates under various constraints, influencing everything from the cost of goods to the availability of items. Travelers may encounter unexpectedly high prices for certain items or services due to shortages or inflation. Budget carefully and be prepared for occasional price fluctuations. In tourist areas, prices can be higher compared to local markets. Consider visiting local markets and shops to get a sense of typical prices and to support the local economy. Number 7. Handling accommodation and transportation. Cuba offers a range of accommodation options, from luxurious resorts to private casas particulares or homestays. However, the quality and availability can vary. Travelers may find that their accommodation does not meet their expectations, or that transportation options are limited or unreliable. Solution: research accommodations thoroughly and read recent reviews to get an accurate picture of what to expect. Booking in advance is crucial, especially during peak travel seasons. For transportation, consider using reliable taxi services or arranging transfers through your accommodation. Number 6. Respecting local customs and regulations. Cuban culture is rich and diverse, with deep-rooted traditions and customs that visitors are expected to respect. Certain behaviors and practices may be viewed differently by locals. Unawareness of local customs or inadvertently breaking rules can lead to awkward situations or misunderstandings. Solution: educate yourself about Cuban customs and etiquette before traveling. For example, it is important to dress modestly when visiting religious sites and to be mindful of local sensitivities regarding politics and government. Engaging with local culture respectfully and following guidelines from local authorities will enhance your experience and foster positive interactions. Number 5. Navigating the language barrier. Spanish is the official language of Cuba, and while some people in tourist areas may speak basic English, this is not universally the case. The language barrier can lead to misunderstandings and challenges when communicating with locals or navigating various services. Solution: learn some basic Spanish phrases before your trip. This will not only enhance your travel experience, but also show respect for the local culture. Consider carrying a translation app or a phrase book to help with communication. In tourist areas, staff in hotels and tour operators are often more proficient in English, but for more remote areas, knowing some Spanish will be beneficial. Number 4. Dealing with health and safety. Traveling to Cuba requires a certain level of health and safety awareness. While Cuba is generally safe, travelers should be mindful of health risks and safety precautions. Health issues such as food and waterborne illnesses can occur, and travelers might encounter challenges in accessing medical services if needed. Solution: take standard precautions, such as drinking bottled water and eating at reputable establishments. Pack a basic medical kit with essentials like anti-diarrheal medications and mosquito repellent. For any specific health concerns, consult a travel health clinic before your trip for up-to-date advice on vaccinations and health precautions. Number 3. Managing expectations regarding infrastructure. Cuba's infrastructure varies significantly across the island. While Havana and other major cities have many modern amenities, rural areas and less touristy regions might lack basic services and infrastructure. Travelers expecting a level of infrastructure similar to Western countries may be disappointed by the condition of roads, public transportation, and facilities. Solution: be prepared for varying levels of comfort and infrastructure. For instance, road conditions can be uneven, and public transport might not always adhere to schedules. Renting a car can offer more flexibility, but ensure it is booked in advance and thoroughly inspected. In rural areas, be ready for more basic accommodations and less reliable services. Number 2. Understanding internet access. Internet access in Cuba is another area where travelers can face difficulties. The country has limited and relatively expensive internet services. Public Wi-Fi is available in many urban areas, but accessing it can be cumbersome. Travelers may struggle with finding reliable internet access and might be frustrated by the slow connection speeds and the need to purchase Wi-Fi cards in order to connect. Solution: plan ahead by purchasing Wi-Fi cards at ETECSA, Cuba's state-run telecommunications company, or authorized vendors. These cards come with a specific amount of data and an expiration time. Wi-Fi is typically available in parks, major hotels, and certain cafes, so locate these spots in advance. For essential communication, consider pre-arranging alternative ways to stay in touch, such as using local SIM cards or international roaming plans. Number 1. Navigating the currency system. One of the most confusing aspects of traveling to Cuba is understanding its currency system. Historically, Cuba had two currencies, the Cuban peso, or CUP, and the convertible peso, or CUC. Many travelers still encounter issues because they're unfamiliar with the currency. It is essential to understand the value of the CUC and CUP, especially when it comes to making purchases and calculating costs. The exchange rate between the CUP and major currencies like the USD or Euro can fluctuate, and there are often fees involved when exchanging money. Before traveling, research the current exchange rates and familiarize yourself with the local currency. It is advisable to exchange some money before arriving, but also use official exchange services like Cadeca, or Cuban currency exchange, upon arrival for the best rates. Always carry some cash, as many places do not accept credit cards, and avoid exchanging money in informal settings. Hope these tips help you navigate Cuba with ease. If you found this guide useful, please like, share, and subscribe for more travel insights.